Absolutely.
Yep.
Take it
So I
away.
just want to take a couple of minutes ahead of Jennifer's presentation and introduce myself and give you a quick background on OGRIP. So it's really good to talk to all my fellow GIS nuts in the state. So again, my name is Donovan Powers, the state GIO, coming from dreary Columbus today on the 19th floor, the OGRIP headquarters. Like we have more than one office, but so what we've got is, OGRIP, the Ohio Geographically Referenced Information Program. Well, what is that exactly? Well, yeah, go ahead. What OGRIP is it's an organization that was kind of loosely put together initially to help coordinate GIS activities within the state. So it's we mainly support the OGRIP Council, which is made up of organizations, mainly state agencies, but also county, municipal, and township associations, as well as higher education. So kind of a history on why OGRIP is put together that way. Back in 1989, it was originally informally put together just to help state agencies with data creation and activities. And then back in 93, it was formally through executive order put together to help coordinate GIS activities within the state. And there were subsequent executive orders that perpetuated that until 2008, when state legislation finally codified the existence of OGRIP, and the governor began appointing the council. So it's still, there was some changes throughout the years on how it was made up, but primarily it is state agencies, county engineers, county auditors, and county commissioners, as well as the township, municipal league, and also higher education. So a couple major projects that we always are doing, or maybe even starting here, is the statewide imagery program. Most of you are probably familiar with that, where we do periodic flights of the state. What's most important about that is the ability for local government to use the cooperative purchase agreement to buy up for that, and many of the counties are doing such. Another thing which you're going to hear about, I think if Cynthia Rachel has talked about this yet or not, 3DEP, which is the 3D elevation program that's partnered with the USGS, as well as some federal state agencies partnering to fund this, but we're flying the state with LiDAR data. So it's going to be high resolution, what the USGS calls QL1, which is pretty high detailed. These are large data sets. We've got phase 1 completed. Phase 2 will be delivered here soon, and phase 3 is just, flights have just been completed. We expect that next year. State-owned real property, that is something that's also in legislation that we are supposed to be doing here at OGRIP, and that will heavily require information from county government. So that kind of rolls right into what Nancy Von Meyer and the folks from Axiomatic were talking about with the statewide parcel project that we're getting ready to kick off. That is going to be very important for us to get the state-owned real property information put together. One of the biggest things that I wanted to do is connect with you all. So if you want to get your phones out, take a picture of that QR code and follow that link to our survey. I'm trying to put together a Rolodex of all the folks in the state that are within government so that we can collaborate more, because that's kind of the main goal of what I'd like to get done, is working closer with local government. So you can even email me. I put my email up there. We are wide open to suggestions and ideas and whatever kind of GIS information you wanted to talk about. We also just redid our website. So if you wanted to go check it out, you can find links to applications that we're kind of displaying, promoting, data sets. All of the data that we put together is available publicly, as well as contacts for OGRIP Council. So if there's someone you'd like to connect with, maybe it's your representative if you're in county government, specifically, one of the 3 that I rattled off, you can reach out to them, or you can reach out to me directly. And I believe that's all I've got, and I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer.
Donovan, before you do,
Yeah.
real quick, we have a question, and maybe you can address it. I think it ties into Next Gen 911, but the LBRS program that OGRIP was instrumental in, I think in your predecessors, can you address that, and where does that program currently stand?
Yeah, sure thing. So
Yeah.
we're kind of so the 911 office is actually adjacent to us here in the building. We work closely together. They've been working on legislation for NG 911. Hopefully soon we'll see something, but essentially what that's going to mean for LBRS is that a vendor is already assigned, and when that legislation passes, funding will start kicking in to convert LBRS to the NENA standard, which is very similar. It's just a slightly different schema, and that is to bring everything together for the NG 911 software that's going to run it all. So LBRS can continue. Highly recommend that you do. Or if you're so inclined, you can move to the NENA standard, which will mean less work for some folks along the way. So they're both kind of interchangeable, but they do have a slightly different schema.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Donovan. And Jennifer, apologize for throwing that in there and delaying your presentation. But no, I appreciate the update there, Donovan. Thank you.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tom, can you hear me now?
Sure, I sure can.
Okay, great. So I'm going to talk about sharing your data with the GEOhio Spatial Data Portal. And I know back when I first moved to Ohio in 2001, I had no idea what OGRIP was. So I'm guessing, or what they did. So I'm guessing maybe a lot of people on the call today may be in the same situation. Hold on. Why is, there we go. So the GEOhio portal is an open data platform that we maintain. We have hosted maps, we have feature services, hosted feature layers, we have imagery that you can download, and we also have web applications. Some of the customers of the portal, one of the things we do is we share our enterprise portal with other state agencies so they can develop their own applications. Some of those, I'm going to show some of those applications now. Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities, the Construction Commission, Ohio Department of Health, Ohio Department of Real Estate are all working hard with data that's available in the portal and using it in their applications. Data like those parcels and the imagery. One of the first uses of the portal was Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities. They have 3 public-facing applications that they built. This one is a provider search. They created this so that people that were looking for services for developmental disabilities could go in and do a search. They search for what they're looking for. Once they locate it, they get information back. And then once they click on that facility, they can see if that particular facility has any compliance issues. And then that compliance report comes up. Another customer that uses the portal is Ohio Facilities Construction Commission. This particular project saves a lot of time, and especially in the school facilities portfolio that I'm going to show here. Any new facilities that are being built, people used to have to travel out to see those new facilities, and now they can use this application. It shows all the different facilities. You can then select just say elementary or middle school facilities. This data is available. And then you can select the school. It shows more information. And then you can get even a deeper data dive and see pictures of that facility or even a report of that facility. Another customer is Governor's Office of Faith-Based Initiatives. This is a pretty unique use of the portal. This data is collected from nonprofits and any other anyone else that wants to contribute to community collaboration. It's actually a survey 123 survey that these nonprofits can go in, enter their information, and then anyone in the state can go in and search. Let's say I'm looking for clothing in Franklin County. So anyone that provides clothing or shelter or maybe some workforce development, I can then search for that by clicking on the map or doing a deeper search. And then that returns all that information. So that's another example of data collection that we're doing. There's an example of what the Survey 123 survey looks like. Another use for the portal is Ohio Department of Education was faced with a legislative need. They needed to provide parents the ability to look up and see if they lived in an ed choice district. So we use the school districts layer that's available, and they can type in an address and they can see if they live in an ed choice district, and then they can take that information to apply for a scholarship. Okay, so what do all the customers have in common? They all need data. And some of the ways that OGRIP shares data is through our enterprise portal. All those applications I just showed were built in our enterprise portal. There's the URL for it. Or they were built in our ArcGIS Online. So we share things such as a parcel service, and this will you'll definitely hear more about this coming up in the future. There's the parcel service, and we share imagery through our portal and our ArcGIS Online. There's some examples of some base map layers that are from different sources that is available in our portal and our ArcGIS Online. And we also have various different groups. So when a new agency comes on, their data gets put into their group, and then they can determine if they want to share that with everyone or not. An example from our ArcGIS Online. And then another way we share data is on our website, and Donovan talked about that. We just got a whole new website. One of the most common places that you can go for data is our GeoData download page. And that gives you the ability to download all the OSIP data, the new 3DEP data, the LBRS data, and some various USGS data. On the website, you can also see a variety of different applications that are available for you to use, such as broadband mapping, state-owned property, that compassion map I showed, the facilities map, all that is available from that website. Oops. And then we also have links to the REST service endpoints. So if you're in a need for data, you can go out to our website and get data that way. We also have an open data hub that has several agencies and municipalities and counties that share data with it. And then we also share data as a need arises. Back when the pandemic first started, we used to have these GIS meetings, and I know Dick Katopish was on those, and a lot of people were in these meetings, and we created a hub site to share COVID-related data with everyone throughout the state. Okay, so I guess my next question is, if you have data that you want to share, we're willing to share it, whether it be hosted feature layers, open data, imagery. If you have REST endpoints, we'd love to share it so everyone that uses the portal or AGOL has the ability to utilize data that you guys create at all different levels, local levels, county levels, you know, private, whatever data you have, we'd love to share it. And then if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. If you want to share data, if you want to access data, feel free to reach out to me and I'll gladly help point you in the right direction. And that ends my presentation. I know I went kind of fast, but.
Absolutely. Okay. So this, folks, is your opportunity. I believe, is Donovan still around as well, Jennifer?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to open it up. It's now is everyone's opportunity to ask those burning state GIS questions that you've wanted answered, but never been too afraid to contact Donovan and Jennifer directly. So if it looks like Mark is, how often is the LBRS data set updated on the REST in services site?
Yeah, the REST endpoints is not updated very often. Currently, it's just they are updated on the data downloads page more frequently. Yeah, we're just lacking resources to get those updated as frequently as we would like.
Okay. Jason Gillow, status of 3-dep collection. Is the Central Ohio data collected for 3-dep?
Hold on, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'll take that one. So
okay.
3-dep was done in 3 different zones. It was not the same as OSIP, which had a central sector. It was northern, and then eastern, and then western. So there was a little bit of the center of the state collected and already available online for download. And also on the eastern section, that is phase 2, those should be available here soon this summer. We anticipate it before fall. And then the western section was just completed for flying, and that data is being processed currently. We're about a year away from seeing that data. So it really kind of depends. If you go to our website, we do have an index map showing what the status is and availability. So, oh yeah, that data downloads page will have that information on it as well.
In August is asking, will you share LAS data from the 3-dep collection?
Yep, that's actually what we've got available there. Jen,
okay.
If you want to go back to that slide, you can point that out. So that data download page, if you look on the bottom section, there are a bunch of tabs. One of those is 3-dep, and then if you clicked on that and zoomed in to when you see the index layer pop up, mainly for Northern Ohio at this point, you will then start, you can click on one of those index squares and you'll see the hyperlinks to download that data in that white space at the bottom.
Okay, well, that looks like all the, Mark's just at the nick of time. How often is LBRS data updated on the data downloads page?
We're conversing here because it's the other person in our office, but we're thinking it's annually.
Okay.
That's all going to change once the next Gen 911 kicks off. So that data is then going to be much more frequently updated.
Right.
Yeah, as well as the services.
Yeah, and that's part of that incremental progress. Right now, you're focusing on the parcels stuff, but a lot of everything you learn there is going to aggregate into the next Gen 911. Is that kind of the thought, or is that, or are they two separate?
So I'm not sure if we're going to incorporate parcels into next Gen 911, but I do see the address information kind of dovetailing into our master address file. So one of the things I really didn't talk about is our geocoding capabilities. That's mostly at the state level, but we do pull the address information together to enhance geocoding based off some of the data we've already got. So it does dovetail into it, maybe indirectly though.
Right. I mean, I guess maybe what I'm talking about is more the process of, going out to every county and pulling parcels in, the same concept of pulling addresses in that are maintained at every county. So it's like an aggregation of 88 parcels. The process of that may not look all that different than the process of aggregating all 88 counties worth of with addresses, and then continuing to build that kind of relationship. So
that's awesome. That's accurate.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's kind of part of the project we're doing. Primarily, what this project is to do is create a collaboration environment using our GIS hub, and parcels just happens to be one of those initiatives. We plan on going a lot further with it, so a lot of government activity can happen in there.
Absolutely, and that ties into, I posted the survey 123 again, so for anybody who maybe missed the survey, if you're a government organization, Donovan wants to hear from you so that we can collaborate, right? I mean, that's really, it's tying the local government entities together, and I mean, I guess just any government level, right, into OGRIP and coordinating at that level, right? So I put that out there. Marshall Wolf asks, she'll be reaching out soon, have new LiDAR data that would like to make available to other folks. And August says, will statewide parcel layer have the same fields for all counties? I'm not sure if, okay. That's kind of, that's the point, is to normalize it, right? Through the ETL routines. Yeah, okay. Jason, will OGRIP forum meetings start up again soon?
That is a great question. And that is the intent. And I'd like to hear from people a little bit more to solidify that. I want to make sure it's useful for you folks.
Right. Yep. So reach out, put that, fill out that survey so that Donovan and his office can have a dialogue with folks on